The Harlem Renaissance was a movement that took place from the 1920s to the 1930s. It was an explosion of African American art and writing. Before this time period, there had been many other African American writers, but never had there been this many. In most of their works, there was always discussion about what it felt like to be an African American in a completely racist and discriminative world.
Countee Cullen was born on May 30th, 1903. His exact place of birth is unknown. Through some sources state that he may have been born in Louisville, Kentucky, or Baltimore, or New York City. Having lost his parents and brother, it is believed he was raised by his paternal grandmother until her death during his teen years. He was then taken in by Carolyn Bell and Reverend Frederick A. Cullen, a conservative minister at the renowned Salem Methodist Episcopal Church in Harlem. From 1918 to 1921, Cullen attended DeWitt Clinton High School, where he edited the school's newspaper and literary magazine and won a city-wide poetry competition. He went on to attend New York University, where he graduated Phi Beta Kappa in 1925 and won the Witter Bynner Poetry Prize. He published his acclaimed debut volume of poetry, Color, in 1925. He graduated with a master's from Harvard University in 1926 and subsequently joined the editorial staff of Opportunity magazine, penning the column Dark Tower, which was a review of works from the African American literary. Cullen was influenced by the works of John Keats, who was Cullen's favorite poet, Percy Bysshe Shelley, and A.E. Housman, and as such, he relied upon traditional European writing structures and verse. Though he incorporated ideas around African American racial origin and experience in much of his work, with the publication of additional poetry volumes, Copper Sun and The Ballad of the Brown Girl, Cullen was seen as a leading light of the Harlem Renaissance. In the spring of 1928, he wed Yolande Du Bois, the daughter of famed intellectual W.E.B. Du Bois, in an extravagant ceremony that brought together the African American gentry. Yet the marriage was short-lived, with the two divorcing in 1930 upon Cullen's return to America after traveling to France on Guggenheim Fellowship. Cullen's poetic output diminished as the 1930s began, and in 1934 he took on a position teaching French at Frederick Douglass Junior High School. In 1935, he became the first African American in the 20th century to translate and publish Euripides' classical work, Medea. He also worked with Arna Bontemps to have Bontemps' novel God Sends Sunday adapted for the stage, with the work making its March 1946 Broadway debut, as St. Cullen did not live to see the project reach fruition. He died on January 9, 1946 from uremia and complications of high blood pressure. He survived by his second wife, Ida Mae Robertson.
Countee Cullen had a huge impact in the Harlem Renaissance. His impact started off with the magazine he edited called Magpie. This magazine won the Douglas Fairbanks Oratorical Contest and received the Magpie Cup. This really was the initial success by Cullen, and it really kicked off the literary movement called the Harlem Renaissance. The strongest influence on the Cullen's work was John Keats. His friendship with Langston Hughes was his greatest rival that pushed Cullen during the Renaissance period. In their separation is caused the beginning of Cullen's move to a larger group of poets.